Okay, this is my first attempt at a video on how to use foam core. So I'm kind of new at filming these videos, so you're going to have to bear with me a little bit here. Hope I don't screw up. What I've got here is a smaller chunk of black foam core. You can get this now in multiple colors. The typical colors usually are white or black, but you can buy it at the dollar store. It's really cheap, only like $1 or so. And then the key tools that I use are the smaller X-Acto knife. You need one of these style of sharper, pointier, smaller knife blades. Do not use one of these. It's too thick and it will drag and it won't work at all. I'm only bringing that out to show you what not to use. I also have a square here, which is helpful. But for the most part, you don't really need one of those, just a regular, and I would recommend one of these thinner metal rulers, and I'll show you how I use that in probably a future video, because I'm going to break this up a little bit so they're not super long. I have a thinner pokey object. You can use a needle, anyway, just something for actually, this is used more for aligning holes, and again, I will show you how to use that. One thing that you don't need necessarily, and I'm going to kind of rearrange my table here. I have the cutting mat out here, but for the most part I don't actually use the cutting mat. And part of the reason for that is you don't usually have to cut all the way through. Foam core, you'll notice, has two surfaces. So it's filled with foam in the middle and there's paper on either side. So I'll show you how you can actually cut this really accurately without having to actually cut all the way through. And part of the reason that I do it that way isn't just because I don't want to use the cutting mat. It's actually for the most part, if you try cutting all the way through, the foam kind of snags up, and I mean you can occasionally see it on some of the edges here where it'll drag if you're not careful. So for the most part, you're just kind of scoring the outer surface. You don't actually have to cut through anything. So I guess this was the first video, and the things that you need. Oh yeah, obviously also a pencil for marking, and it's nice because since this is paper, you can erase it if you don't like your marks. So this was video 1, just the tools that you need, and I will post video 2 pretty shortly.